Yeah. Right. We're back. Black Sack. Let's watch another Black Sack. Let's watch another Black Sack. Oh, you're going in. You're diving in straight away. What have we got? We've got El Chupacabra. Real terror is here. A new species has evolved. Right. Let's watch it. Let's do it. I was so excited today.
Why?
Because I woke up and I thought, yes, we're going to film another Black Sack.
After so long?
After so long.
Do you instantly regret it after watching El Chupacabra?
Well, I don't regret it.
Okay, good.
But I am disappointed.
So we have just watched El Chupacabra.
Or Chupacabra.
Or just Chupacabra. The film can't make up its mind which is the title. On the box, as you can see, it says El Chupacabra on the front cover. And in the description, but on the sort of credits at the bottom of the DVD, it just says Chupacabra, and in the film itself, it said Chupacabra. So don't know what the title of the film actually is. But Will, what was the plot of El Chupacabra?
I don't know. Like, if I was to describe the film, it would be animal control man would like to be a policeman. Finds some cases of animals being mauled.
Dogs
being mauled. Gets left, right, and centre. Very attractive ladies coming up to him. Help me! Help me! Almost a setup for a pornographic film.
Oh, I think whatever it is probably killed something, because there is blood all over my new carpet.
You should really get those hinges fixed on that gate. Someone can break them down.
Are you worried about me?
But never comes to light in that regard. Finds some really, really aggressive detectives from the LAPD in some crime scenes. There are some scientists who want the Chupacabras but don't ever seem to tell you why. But nothing ever comes full circle or gets. There's. I'm struggling explaining this.
I think your explanation and the way you were describing it sounded like you were wading through like thick mud to try and find anything to like explain this movie. That's how this movie's made, though. So your summation there perfectly encaptures the atmosphere of this movie.
I
have two words for it.
Yeah, go on.
It's a nothing burger.
Yeah, it's a nothing burger. Yeah.
Like a big juicy burger. El Chupacabra. Real terror is here. New species has evolved. Yeah. Lots of people on the back holding pistols at each other, guns and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And maybe there's 2 gunshots in the entire movie. Yeah. And nothing happens. And even at the end, it's not resolved. Yeah.
And you don't even know why anything's happened.
Yeah. They don't explain. The villain gets eaten, played by Treach.
Yes, I want all my people out there to come see Chupacabra. Because your man Trigger Tretch is up in here, a whole different light, you know what I mean? Doing the professor thing, being seen as you've never seen me before. So come through and see that I'm serious about this acting thing here, because we are definitely going to turn it to Hollywood, you heard? Yeah.
The guy who's the mad scientist, got Dr. Goodspeed.
Yeah.
But we thought it was the lead guy, the animal control guy, Navarro. But But the thing is, like, at the end of the film, he's dead, but the Chupacabras are not dead, and the
guy.
I know I'm jumping ahead here, but the main guy and the main girl of the movie just give up. They just go,
Yeah. That's more content for your new book. Yes, it is.
and then they just walk away.
Yes, it is. Goodbye.
I can't believe that I lost it again. My publisher's never gonna believe me.
Yeah, well, look on the bright side. At least you got a new book to write.
That's true. You've got to get that checked out.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow.
I am a doctor, you know.
You asking me out?
Like, literally, the end of the film. This is good material for your book. Yep. Another book, sorry. And
Yeah.
then
Oh,
they
and
leave. It's like, no,
are you ever going to become a policeman? I'm not even going to mention that.
yeah. Bye. There was absolutely, like, there was things to talk about in this film.
Yeah.
But in terms of the actual plot, there's really nothing.
Very little.
Nothing. Guy investigates
Yeah.
dog killings, finds out it's a monster, finds out that it comes from a lab somehow. I completely missed how that all happened. And then
What I don't really get about it
And then
is
they just
this, right? So, in the opening of the film, spoilers, you see a truck with a Chupacabra in it,
yeah.
and one of the main bad guys, or the second main bad guy, opening this truck with the truck driver and saying, "Is it in there? Yes, it's in there. I've been feeding it, whatever." And then, obviously, the truck driver gets mauled, and then the bad guy leaves the scene, and then later on you see him in a lab with another Chupacabra. So they've obviously captured one and then wanted to capture another one.
Why were they driving it around in a was that them capturing it?
They were capturing a second one, and they had to lure the second one in using the first one in the lab.
Yeah.
But why? And
Yeah, we don't know if they were mating them or
Yeah.
if because there was a whole line of dialogue where the lady who's been writing the book about Chupacabras, oh my word, is her name on the back of this box?
Read the description. We haven't read that yet. I've not read it.
Okay. Well, I just finished my point.
Yeah.
She brings up that they might have links to aliens, and there's this whole like exposition about how Chupacabras might be the missing links. And the missing link was like aliens coming to Earth and mixing human and chimp DNA.
Yeah,
Like, it's
primate
this theory.
DNA, yeah.
It completely goes nowhere. Like, it has no bearing on the plot. At that point, we thought the scientists who were like had captured this Chupacabra. At that point, you hadn't seen it. I thought there was like they've got an alien in there. Like they're going to get some answers. Completely nothing. A nothing burger. Okay. El Chupacabra, legendary creature, new prey. After his capture in the wilderness, the legendary bloodthirsty creature Chupacabra escapes into the city, creating mayhem and panic. I just want to say right off the bat, that first sentence sounds like a sequel.
Yeah.
Because listen to this.
Yeah.
After his capture in the wilderness, the legendary bloodthirsty creature Chupacabra escapes to the city. It's like, do you remember the Chupacabra from the first
Do you remember
film?
the wilderness? No, we didn't see any of the wilderness.
As they pursue the deadly beast, an animal control officer, Eric Engory, and scientist Elena Madison realise that a vigilante with his own suspicious motive is also tracking the elusive killer for a mysterious research facility run by the diabolical Dr. Goodspeed, Anthony Treach Chris. That's his name.
Just going to say, I think I figured out what's wrong with the film, and also
One thing?
Yeah, well,
There's one thing wrong with this film?
the overarching thing that's wrong with the film is they've tried to do way too much in terms of their capability. Like there are several things going on in the back of in that description. It's like, why couldn't it just be a horror film where they're trapped by a Chupacabra? Why couldn't it be like a cool sci-fi where it's like, oh, we're studying this thing and it's escaped? Or why couldn't it be like, this cop drama? But they've just gone, chuck it all in.
Yeah, 3 different plots.
Yeah.
What they should have done, because I know, let's get this out of the way, okay?
Yeah.
The best thing about this film is the Chupacabra
Yeah.
suit. Chupacabra looks really good. Like it's the most professional thing in the movie.
And the reason we know that is because there's some behind the scenes stuff as well that we watched, and it almost explains everything.
Yeah, it explained how they built these suits and stuff, and how they worked on it. They looked really good, and they were quite well designed.
Yeah.
That's the best thing to do with this movie, hands down, in terms of, like, in all seriousness. Obviously, we can say some jokey things that are good in this film, but that's it. Like, the monster is the best thing. And they didn't utilise it. And they did not utilise it. They just wasted it on loads of exposition to explain what's happening with these free plots they crammed in. What they should have done is had a simple plot of an animal control officer is called into these people's houses to look at their dogs that have been mauled. He himself, being an animal control person, identifies that this is no ordinary animal attack, and then he goes to his office to give his G97 in. Right, that whole subplot of him bringing his paperwork in, which we'll bring up in a minute.
I've got a point about the paperwork.
Like, and then she goes like, this stupid, don't go after it, blah blah blah. And then he chooses to go after it, and then the whole film is he spots it after it's killing something, and it's him chasing it around the neighbourhood, and it chasing him, and it's just a simple cat and mouse game until eventually, like, it goes through people's houses, kills them, like all that sort of stuff. So you have these nameless victims, or maybe one of his characters has something to do with, like, the Chupacabra wants to get her for whatever reason, and then he has to stop it. Simple as that. And then you could maybe have the scientist and all that sort of stuff could just be omitted. Didn't even need to be in it.
The best way of doing that would have been to his cousin that was in the film, like, is on trial for being a murderer, and he has to prove that it's not him.
It's the Chupacabra. Yeah, there's your ticking clock element. Yeah, he's going to go to prison. Yeah. So you better get that evidence quick.
No, but can we talk about the ticking clock?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, the end of the film where it's like, I want to keep these Chupacabras alive. This is Dr. Goodspeed, Tretch. Yeah. I want to keep these Chupacabras alive because I want to do whatever with them. Mm-hmm. There's people here to try and take them away. Yeah. Let's lock down the facility and pump it full of cyanide gas.
Now, don't you think you're overreacting? Nobody knows this place exists. Why abandon it?
Once we have the melt contained, then I will initiate the shutdown. We will have 15 minutes and 15 minutes only to evacuate. Then the cooling system will automatically switch from oxygen to cyanide.
That'll solve the problem.
This facility of 2 people.
Yeah.
There's no other staff members.
No one knows where this massive facility is in the middle of LA.
Yeah. They said we want to keep this place a secret. This massive place.
So you got 15 minutes. Let's not tell anyone they've got 15 minutes.
And we can tell it's 15 minutes till the cyanide is released, because it's on this little tiny digital watch that you get free with, like some aerosol for Christmas.
So let's press that button and release the cyanide into the air, into the oxygen pumps that somebody's designed to pump in either oxygen or cyanide.
What was the point in that? Because no one's in the building.
No,
not even the Chupacabras.
No one's in the building at that point.
They're taking the Chupacabras.
They come into the building after this self-destruct thing has been pressed, thereby adding a time element to it. But they didn't need the time element.
They didn't need the science lab or anything.
No. I like they're looking off to the side. They had to block some of the shot.
Oh yeah, it's like on a table and there's some things in the way.
Yeah, look, it's like, over here, look, in this really empty room.
So this is meant to be the remains of the dog coming out of a black sack. Will, have we done it again? Have we predicted something in the film with our opening?
What I think is really funny is that this dog corpse is the morgue of a people's hospital, and a doctor put it in a black bag in a bin bag.
Just don't see why we can't work on this together.
You should turn to her and say, hooped earrings are really dangerous in a laboratory setting.
Yeah.
In a sort of sterilised environment.
Oh, do you know who he looks a little bit like?
I'd say Bruce Campbell.
He's a cross between Bruce Campbell and Tom Holland.
Yes! Oh my god, I see it.
Can we talk about the paperwork?
Go on. Let's go down the G97 subplot, because this was my actual favourite.
I need you to fill in. I need that paperwork.
Because you mentioned the animal trolls guy who wants who, like, everyone thinks he wants to be a cop and all that sort of stuff. You mentioned the cops.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the scientists, but you forgot to mention the mini fourth subplot. Yeah. About him trying to get paperwork in.
So in order for him to want to become a police person, he has to report every morning to this woman who's in charge of some form of
the animal
bureaucratic office.
Although she just looks like the receptionist.
Yeah. And every time you need to hand in your G97 on time. It's like you're not really sure what time that should be. So he's like, oh, it's 8:45. Here's my G47. It's too late now.
Every morning, I want your G97 on my desk by 9 a.m.
Because it happens 3 times. This scene comes up. The first time she's like, "Where's your G97? Tuck in your shirt." All this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Second time
Buck
he's
up.
like, "Yeah."
Buck your idea
Second time he's a bit more cut up, and then she's like, "Stop going after that creature. Get your G97 in on time."
And it's like,
and then the next time he comes and he goes like, "Here's your G97,"
like,
and he looks even more messed up because he's still chasing that creature. And then she's like, "You're fired."
What are those?
My G97. It's 8:45.
That was like a week ago.
That was yesterday.
It doesn't matter. You tied my hands.
What are you talking about?
It's too late. I've already asked for a termination request form, and it came back approved.
Yeah.
Because the other paperwork came in first.
Yeah. No, the whole thing was just hypocritical, Jack. Because
stupid.
Like the first thing she's like, you need to hand in your G96 or whatever, G97 first thing every day, and it's like, okay, here it is. No, it's too late. It's like, but you should have handed it on Tuesday. You said every day.
Yeah, you said every day.
Get your G97 on my desk every morning. Your G97's like, you want to be a cop? You go get their uniform and turn in their G97s. I want your G97 on my desk. Fill out a Section 9B request form.
That's not a way to run a business, or even a governmental department, right?
Or even make a
I have
movie.
to hand in my finished paperwork at 8:45 in the morning. I've not even started work yet.
Yeah.
What am I reporting on? The previous day? I should hand it in before 5, if that's the case, and do it on the day. She should have been fired.
She should have been
I
fired
had no
and
idea.
eaten, because the last time you see him, they really build it up like she doesn't believe in this thing and she's firing him. And I was sitting there thinking, I want her to get eaten. I even said that. I was like, I want her to get eaten.
Just your signature and your badge, and then you're free to go.
Just do it. He's going to take his shirt off and he's going to be in his vest. He's going to take his shirt off and throw it at her.
Now, I might actually miss you. I knew you'd do that, so I made plenty of copies.
There are files.
Never fuck
There we go,
a fucker in the bottle. You only get fucked.
Now they set her character up. I'll do the buttons first. So they're going to have a shot of her being eaten, right? Or if that's the last we see of her, I think that's the best trilogy, a mini trilogy in a film I've seen.
Little story arcs.
Give me my G97. Okay, I'll get it to you. Where's your G97? I'm getting stuffed out there. Right, you're fired. Here's your G97.
I'm just giving you my G97. No, too late.
It's one of those films, thinks it's cool, but it's totally the opposite. And you can tell they tried really hard to write really witty, cool dialogue, and it just is the funniest thing you've ever heard.
Goats are found primarily in areas that are largely populated with goats. Actually, it'll attack anything that it can eat. And what do you think it is that is for sure that it's not?
Did you know goats are found in an area where they're predominantly full of goats?
Maybe this whole partner idea isn't such a bad idea after all.
That's the stupidest line of dialogue I've ever heard.
It's like, alright.
You know how to find goats?
Where? Go to where there are goats.
You go to where the goats are. It's like, what? Genius line that had us floored. And then, oh god, there was that moment where like the scientist and his henchmen are in the lab looking at the other Chupacabra, and this lab set was just like this one window, one blinking red light, and like this tiny little encramped space, which was so weird because when we watched the making of it, you could see it was a bigger room than like that. It's like, why don't you just utilise the space a bit? You know, stick some stuff on the walls, make it look a bit interesting. Not that these are stuck on. This is a legit ship.
Yes.
But some have said this looks like they're stuck on. But yeah, so they're in there, and then he goes like, right, an old war trick. Wound a female and a male will come.
You know, wound the woman, and a man will come.
Right.
Consider your generation to be lucky.
What are you gonna do?
It's no war trick. You wound a woman, and the man will soon come.
You can't go in there alone. She'll kill you.
Wound a woman and a man will come. And he goes into the cage with the Chupacabra, which, by all intents and purposes, is not chained up or anything.
No.
It's just sitting there on the floor, doing nothing. And there's this horribly, but beautifully horribly composed shot from behind the Chupacabra. And we see it's looking up at the guy in the window, the little window with the red light blinking behind his face, looking down. And then Treach comes into shot, like from the right hand side. And it's like with his gun, and then he goes, "This is going to hurt you." No, me. That it's more than it's going to hurt you. Which hasn't. What is the meaning of that? He's shooting the thing. How is that going to hurt him more than it hurts? Anyway, so he goes and he shoots this creature, and it just goes like over the camera.
The delayed reaction is it's like it goes, and it's a really hot, like really like silly, like, and then
it's like the most crappiest shot I've ever seen in a movie.
Hey, princess. You know I hate doing this. We have a lot of things going on right now. Just remember, this is gonna hurt me a lot more than it's gonna hurt you.
Could have made the film for you.
It did make the film. I was
Can we talk about the second best shot in the film? Was when it's quite close to the beginning of the film, and you're sort of establishing lots of characters and stuff
and locations,
and you're at the facility where these Chupacabras are kept, and you've got Dr. Goodspeed and this other guy who's like the guy that captures the Chupacabras, walking from one room up into the other bit of the facility. But the shot is like a 2-minute shot of them walking along like a walkway outside, and they're talking to each other, but you can't hear any dialogue. And it's
I don't think there is. I don't think there's no dialogue.
Yeah.
I think they're talking and they're acting.
Yeah.
But there's just there's
just music
playing over the top, and it just lasts for so long. I will time it on this edit, see how long it takes.
It's probably about 30 seconds, but it felt much longer.
Well, that's the problem with these type of films. They always feel longer than they are.
Yeah.
This was only 85 minutes, but I swear it feels like I've watched a 2-hour movie.
And like just little things that don't need to happen, like they drive a car up to the facility, and then instead of just them getting out or you seeing them like in the facility, the filmmakers decided they needed a shot of the lights of the car turning off.
Yeah, so it cuts away from the shot of them in the car to the light, it turns off, and then cuts back to them in the car, the same shot. When if a good director or a competent director would have done the shot, the camera's angled low, so when the car pulls up, the light comes right up to the camera, and then turns off, and then you raise the camera up as they get out of the car, and then you follow them around. You wouldn't cut away. Maybe they thought of that afterwards, and he's like, oh, maybe we should do that.
A good director would have included that entire thing, because they weren't really talking about anything, and they could have just cut to a shot in the facility, because we don't know where they had been. It was the security guy and the doctor both in the car, but there had been no establishing shots before that of them anywhere else other than
the detectives.
No, because the detectives also come by car.
Oh, and then they do this. They're in the Jaguar. That's what they're driving.
Yeah.
It's so for a film that has a lot of exposition.
Yeah. Oh,
you don't learn anything.
Well, it's opposite exposition, right? So they're trying to fill the time of the film by telling you
exposition
by telling you all about this Chupacabra and stuff like that. But so you know everything about the Chupacabra and you never see it, and so the payoff never happens. So you're sitting there going, right, yeah, it's about 4 foot. It's got blue eyes if it's a male and red eyes if it's a female. Eats goats wherever goats are found, which is wherever goats are.
Yep.
We're in this truck. We're explaining this. We're explaining this. We're explaining this. Oh, and what's the scientist doing with it? Cut away!
Yeah.
we don't want you to know the interesting
back
part.
to this woman going, where's your G97?
I want your G97 on my desk.
There was some cool gore effects at parts, like the dead bodies looked pretty legit, like the makeup on the scratches, there was good makeup design in terms of when that lady got scratched in the arm, that looked pretty good, and the dead bodies and all that. And they had 2 Chupacabras in the film. They had obviously one suit, and then they had a hand puppet head.
Yeah.
So whenever the 2 were in the shot, one had to be really close to the camera with this puppet close to the camera, and then the one was in the background. And I was like, you know what, they're doing, they're making do with what they've got. But the thing was that Chupacabra suit, right at the beginning of the film, I said to you, because they showed the Chupacabra right in the first scene, and you're like, they're really proud of this suit, so we're going to see a lot of it.
Yeah.
I wish I hadn't said that.
Yeah, because we didn't see much of it at all.
Because it was the exact opposite. I thought, hang on a second. Usually with these low budget films, they'll have a suit that looks really good and they'll shoot it loads because they know how good it looks and that's where the money's going to be. But this one did the opposite.
Classic storytelling is give a glimpse of what you want the audience to see, but leave them wanting more. What they did is they went, here's the entire thing, and you went, oh cool, and then they didn't really ever show it again. You were like, oh,
yeah.
So there's no suspense, there's no build up of tension. It's literally just it's
flat. I
want to see this thing, and you're not showing it to me.
Yeah.
But so I felt a lot like the guy, in terms of they're not showing me something and I didn't get to see something. The one character in it that probably couldn't see anything, who was the guy with the hat pulled down over his eyes.
Oh yeah, the beanie guy.
Yeah.
What are you using for bait? Remember that puto who didn't pay us some money?
Now that beanie guy, there's one bit where they're looking for the Chupacabra or something, and he's on the
reward has been put out by someone for the $5 million of capture of whoever's killing all these people.
Yeah, and then it cuts to a shot, and the beanie guy has these binoculars, and he's like this, trying to look for it, and it just take the beanie off.
So much so that you can see the beanie arching over the binoculars as he's put them up to his eyes.
Why don't you come with us, dog? Why we no hiding and shit?
Hell, man, all them gangsters out there looking for.
Yeah, it's just take the beanie off. You don't need it on. I don't I mentioned the gore effects and stuff. This film is rated an 18 in the UK, which is I guess that might have been for the swearing. Yeah, there's a lot of swearing. Yeah. Maybe the mention of sniffing glue and some of the gore, but honestly, this film could have been rated lower. It's not. Yeah. It's not worth it. Not worth the rating that it's been given. What else is there to say? Really,
the conclusion.
Yeah.
Just Dr. Goodspeed died. His at the end, our hero gets tackled into a big van, and both Chupacabras are in there attacking him. Then the heroine comes in. The female hero comes in, saves him. Then the bad guy that's left comes in, threatens to kill them both or whatever. Go away. These are my Chupacabras now, and shuts the door of the van.
Yep.
Right. Why aren't the Chupacabras just attacking all 3 of them? Because they're these highly aggressive creatures. B, if the Chupacabras aren't attacking them, and you've got the lead male and female there against one person who is threatening them. I can't remember if he had a gun or not. Maybe he had a gun, but why aren't they?
He had a gun.
Okay,
The
so
bad guy.
they leave. But also, number 3, he traps himself in the back of that van
with the
2 Chupacabras and the people who he doesn't want to interfere with his plans on the outside. Can't they just wait there until he has to open the van again to get back out to go round and get into the cab?
Yeah, they could have just waited, but they just left.
Ooh, crucifix. What the hell? What do you like to do? In some sort of constructed wooden room. Oh.
And the chapel.
The shut us to pieces. We have to get to security room 3. It's not that far. We can make it. You can make it. I can't leave you here by yourself. Go, run.
Oh! What?
Whoa. Where the hell did he get the flare from? Where did he get the flare from? It just came out of nowhere. Oh no.
Oh.
Leave it on the floor. Not throw it at it, he just left it on the floor. Oh god.
Okay, I'm going to give this film...
How many?
No. I'm going to give this film 3 slices of large sausage pizza out of 12, I think. And the reason
3 out of 12?
Yeah.
Some very... Oh, you're doing inches?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. That is the summation. This was a porno movie. It's essentially a porn film.
Yeah.
With none of the sex. That's basically what it was. That's what it felt like.
Especially in the first 20 minutes, it's like...
Not that I've watched
like the main character literally goes to all these houses like these lonely women who are really attractive, and they're like, oh my god, please, you've got to help me. It's like, come into my house, and he's like, no time for that. I've got to go try and catch and kill her. It's like, no, are you sure? I'm barely wearing anything.
It's like, move aside. Let me look at this dead dog.
Yeah. So we thought that maybe they'd shot a porno and a film sort of side by side, and there's probably a porno out there
with the Chupacabra.
El Chupacabra.
So I would give this. I'm going to give it out of 10. I'm going to do the proper.
Okay, yeah, 10. I'd have given it 2 out of 10 of any form of,
Yeah, I'm probably going to give it 2, but there's films that we've given 1 to on the Black Sack.
Yeah. That you might have enjoyed more.
Yeah, that I might have enjoyed.
I think
more.
this is a shifting scale,
because I think there's nothing worse than a bad movie that is boring. But this wasn't boring. It wasn't there's parts of it where it was like, oh my god, just get moving.
Yeah.
As we kept saying. But when it hit the funny note, or if they said a line of dialogue and it cracked us up, the entertainment value, it
skyrocketed, didn't it? Yeah.
Replenished to the boredom.
Yeah, no, it was like...
And the monster suit was really good.
It would have been very nice if... Because obviously we were going through these last, and then suddenly something really funny happened, and that sort of carried us over to the next really funny thing.
Yeah, that's exactly.
But it's kind of like that, and then the end it went.
Yeah,
and it's like,
just died.
Whoa, we could have just done one more thing, and then yeah.
I mean, the funniest part about the ending was the fact that the main characters went, well, make a good new book. Hey, yep, all right, and then they just left, and then the villain drives off with two Chupacabras and picks up the
girlfriend of the macho,
the guy with the crutches
guy, yeah.
And then you're like, ooh, sinister. He's taken her,
but not in like a conspiracy way. She was hitchhiking on the side of the road because she obviously didn't want to live there anymore or something.
Yeah, and he thought, I'm going to feed her to the Chupacabras.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
So you're giving it 2 treaches out of 10.
2 treaches out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I could give it 1, but I like the suit and those moments were really funny. So they're the 2 points. But I do think it should be blasted into space.
Yes, 100%.
I think we should get rid of this.
Blast that
horrible
space.
Horrible piece of shit. Right. There we go. Off it goes into space.
what we've got. Okay, cool. Let's be deathly quiet and still for a little while.
Yep.